What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 90 of the CHUMPcast. Brick was banished from the cave this week, but that's okay because I can mute his mic whenever I want to now. On the heels of Infinity War, nobody had the balls to release any good movies this week. Instead, we talk about the recently released animated Batman Ninja, as well as do a deep dive into some of the prevailing theories of Westworld Season 2. For next time, we want to hear your thoughts on who in Hollywood might actually be a robot. There are plenty of uptight weirdos to speculate on here. Send us your thoughts on social media at the CHUMPcast or text us at 847-920-6107. If you have a really good theory, leave us a voicemail and we might play it on the next show. If you want to support us, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop on Amazon through our affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go change Mark's oil. Tell you that we just started recording.
You wouldn't know that, though, because you're not in the studio to see the recording bars, so...
Rick thinks he's better than us now.
Yeah. What is this? 2 out of the last 3 episodes? You haven't been here? Been remote?
No one wants to hear your self-loathing. All right, guys? I know you guys miss me, but I'm going to Vegas. I have some things to do.
And I know you last minute packed, and that was a real issue.
He still hasn't packed.
You for sure haven't packed yet.
That's why I'm here. Because if I had to go to the city and then drive back, I would have not been able to go to Vegas. I would have missed my flight.
Hold on, stop. Have you packed?
I have not packed.
Oh my God, you're the
just
worst.
Left. I just went upstairs to change my laundry, which is the clothes that I'm going to be bringing to Vegas. Plus, I got to find my swimsuit. Plus, I got to do the toiletries. I got some things to do, which is why I can't be there.
12-year-old.
Did you GTL? This is what I'm talking about. I hate this echo. Did you GTL?
No.
Can we also...
I didn't even hit the gym.
Don't blame the echo for you not being able to talk, because...
No, I blame this.
It's just classic Mark.
Is he blaming the table?
He's
the nice
farting.
Table that you made?
Just farted.
Oh, sick.
You didn't gym, tan, and laundry?
No, I didn't have time. I had to buy some new threads, and then I had to watch Westworld, and now I'm here.
We're proud of you. And what else did you watch?
Batman Ninja.
Which was better than Infinity War.
Wow. These are bold takes by Mark early on. But
DC
no DC guy?
Just get out of my studio. We didn't get your take on it, though. You were the last person in the United States to go see Infinity War.
I was drunk at my sister's wedding on Saturday.
I was drunk at a wedding on Saturday.
And I was just so flustered because 2 of my cousins already saw it. And I completely avoided them the whole wedding and was pissed off and just trying to figure out logistics and how I was going to go see the movie the next day. And I did. I saw it on Sunday.
How frustrated were you for the first 72 hours that you couldn't actually watch the movie?
I was extremely frustrated.
Okay, but what was your takeaway from the movie?
What did I think of the movie?
Yes.
I thought it was the best Marvel movie to exist so far. So.
But still not as good as Batman Ninja.
No. Just
or
kidding.
The Dark Knight, obviously.
We'll get into Batman Ninja, but yes, it was better than Batman Ninja. Not The Dark Knight. I don't think anything will ever top The Dark Knight. But
it was better than The Dark Knight.
Nope.
That's honestly a good question, because that's the best superhero movie of all time against the best superhero movie of all time. Right?
Wow, so that's a true tie. That's a 1.5 to 1.5.
Actual. Dude, I would have to go back and watch The Dark Knight just to take in the Joker.
You know what you need
fully
is to watch the full trilogy of that and then watch all 18 Marvel movies
and
then
kill
figure
yourself.
out which one's better.
I tried to do that, got caught up with the Hulk. Couldn't do it. The
Just
Hulk
skip that
always
one.
just like...
Let's get into that, though.
That's the most skippable one, right? Either that one or Ant-Man.
I haven't even seen Ant-Man yet. I need to see that because I'm going to assume we're going to go see Ant-Man 2.
We are. Oh,
yeah,
maybe
Ant-Man is at least funny,
one
though.
of the Iron Man movies. Maybe the third Iron Man you could skip. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
With the guy with the arms
I would
destroying shit on the racetrack or whatever.
No,
that's Iron Man 2.
That's 2? Yeah. Okay.
And that's very skippable in my opinion, too. I thought 3 was better than 2. 2 was the worst Iron Man, which is another thing you have to go through. You have to do it's like back to back. It's Iron Man and then Iron Man 2 and then it's like Hulk.
My one complaint about Infinity War, I was not digging Mark Ruffalo at all.
Yeah, I'm over him.
I think I was over him in Civil War. No,
Oh.
Civil War, to be honest.
He was barely in Civil War.
Ragnarok kind of sealed the deal for me with him.
Mm-hmm.
I could have absolutely done without him in Infinity War.
Was Mark Ruffalo really even in like Ragnarok? Because it was mainly just the Hulk.
No, he was in there.
Yeah, he was.
He switched back.
In the third act, he was.
Oh, okay.
We are officially 365 days out from Avengers 4.
Yes, that is true.
So it's kind of good in that we don't have to wait 4 years for them to go make a movie, but also I don't want to wait another year for this.
The countdown begins now. Daily.
The countdown began
mark it down.
after we got out of Infinity War.
Okay.
True.
By the way, Chuck, that was a great episode. We appreciate you joining us. Well, joining Ryan and Bricketto. I enjoyed you more than the both of them by far. So thank you for coming on.
The common denominator is that you were not on that episode.
Nope. It was just that Brick that wasn't talking that much in the episode.
Fake news. And
All right.
dude, I let them do their thing. They nerded out, and I was like in awe. I was marveled
In awe
at
of
them
my
talking
virginity.
the whole time.
Yes, to your point, Chuck does know his stuff. That is
He knows his shit.
for sure. But what, if anything, caused you to get the most emotional in Infinity War?
We can't talk. You can't spoil this movie yet. There are still people that haven't seen it.
Normal.
All right,
people haven't
spoilers.
seen it.
Everyone that's listening, stop listening if you haven't
Also,
seen the
we
movie.
talked about this last week.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yes.
You listened to the episode, right?
Not really. I kind of was tuning out.
Yes, we
Sick,
definitely
so-
talked about this.
Maybe you talked about everything, so
The question was, what was the death that hit you the hardest?
I don't remember what you said.
All right, so we're on the heels of the most historic movie release ever. And our listener question from last week was, what will the next Avengers movie be called?
Avengers 4. What are you going to call it, people?
We had a lot of responses for this, more than normal. So that just tells you how many people went to see this and how many people actually cared. But since you were talking about Chuck, he sent us a text message on our text line at 847-920-6107. Brick, I didn't even have to look it up.
Wow.
He says he's going to go out on a limb and say Avengers, Infinity Crusade. Only because in the comics, Crusade is the sequel to the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, and because it sounds cool. But honestly, this one should have been called Infinity Gauntlet, and the next one would have been Infinity War, which is actually true. The Infinity Gauntlet kicked this off, which is the comic hanging behind you, Mark, and then it went into Infinity War.
It's a Marvel comic. Weak.
Shut up. You wish you had that. It's a good point.
That is a good point.
Didn't you tell me that you tried to read these?
Yes, I try to.
They're very difficult to get through.
Yeah, they're when they come out, early 90s.
I should probably look that up. But yeah, the exposition was so much different in comics 25, 30 years ago. It was so much more to read and so much less to look at.
Yeah, true.
That already makes for a bad comic.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the real early 90s comics or the late 80s comics, to be honest. And I was actually in the comic book store yesterday picking up my comics I haven't gotten in months because I get a weekly stack that I haven't picked up at all. But anyways, there were 3 people that came in asking for the trade for Infinity Gauntlet, War, whatever.
Wow, they are going to be very disappointed.
Exactly.
This actually came out in 1991.
That's when I was born. Shout out 91.
Worst year ever.
Sick. Isn't it? Didn't Chuck say something about it being Free Comic Book Day?
Free Comic
Saturday.
Book Day is this Saturday, May 5th. Cinco de Mayo / Free Comic Book Day.
So I'm going to get hammered and go into a comic book store with children and throw up everywhere.
Great.
Join
Text
the
message.
Chumpcast.
Oh, Jesus. Don't wear our shirt.
I see you have Infinity War in your hand.
Can we keep talking about Infinity War real quick? I got one more thing to say, and we already talked about it last week, Mark. So we're gonna
Of course
kinda
you
go
did.
past
You
it.
touched on everything. That's why it was so great.
So in
Funny.
only 7 days, Infinity War surpassed the global lifetime box office of Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Days of Future Past, and Suicide Squad.
Why did they list all Marvel movies and then just one DC? You could have thrown a bunch of other DC movies in there if you wanted to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
Suicide Squad did okay in
Yeah.
the box office. So they were like,
Because
well,
it had
Justice
probably
League, who
one of the-
cares?
It had one of the most hyped up trailers of all time.
For sure.
That's another great question. Is think of a movie that you were so excited about the trailer and it was ended up being a total letdown. I would say that would be Suicide Squad for me. Because I think
Dark
that trailer,
Tower.
Dark Tower.
That
Yeah.
was terrible.
Dude, yes, Suicide Squad. I remember hearing about Will Smith and the cast originally, and I was like, this is going to be the best movie of all time. And it was flop of the year, of the lifetime.
was a
Flop of
flop.
ever.
All right, let's get back to our listener questions. My guy Rob down in Houston on the podcast Random Ramblings with Rob. He sent us on Instagram, Avengers, we back in this bitch.
I like it.
Brief, real concise.
So is he assuming we, as in everyone that... All right, that's going to spoil it. You cannot talk... That's the problem
There's
about this
nothing you
segment.
can say about that movie.
There's nothing we can say about the titles for Avengers 4 because you're most likely going to be spoiling.
I think that's
Infinity
the
War.
only one.
Everything's like the return of what? Like,
Well,
what are you talking
that's
about?
not a spoiler. Why'd you... Great. Now I got to cut that.
Just announces a fucking spoiler segment of Infinity War.
Darian, our guy, 54th Street Narcissist, texted us and said, snapped. Like the old crazy TV show about women who get fed up and murder their spouses.
Okay.
Soon, I assume, featuring your wife, Kelly.
Hilarious. Ouch.
Kelly's going to be on Snapped. Yeah. Mark should be just dead in his Batman.
I've never heard of that show.
He's going to be like, Kelly, you can't use my airline miles. And then he's going to fart and Kelly's going to fucking stab him in the throat.
He's going to be like, in his Batman mask, just like being a Mark.
Just hasn't shaved, hasn't showered in 2 days, farting on the couch.
That's me.
Ugh.
Still drunk from Cinco de Mayo, just laying in all of his free comics that he got are just bad.
Yeah, just hammered.
All right, Drake Devil 4 on Instagram says, Avengers 4, where the fuck are they? Which would apply to quite a few characters in this movie.
Where are they, as in where are who?
Well,
and
did you see the spot from Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Oh.
It was kind of like a press clipping where it was all the actors from Infinity War were like, where were Ant-Man and the Wasp during this movie? It's kind of funny.
Who else could you say?
I saw that. I did like that.
Nobody without spoiling it. Vanilla Bean _7 says Avengers 4, sorrow and destruction.
Wow, that's deep. I might go with that one.
Usagi Yojimbo, Joe, our
Whoop.
friend Joe, says Avengers again, because Disney wants your fucking money.
That's very true. And they will
already
get that
have
money.
All my money.
They will get that motherfucking cash.
You know,
Take
I'm
cash,
a
Disney.
Disney
Make
stockholder.
more of these.
Their stock did not do any better this week.
As the stock probably dropped a couple dollars, you were then feeding in a couple dollars at the movie theaters. So
Easily.
They're just doubling up on you no matter what.
How long do you think we're going to have to wait to movie pass Avengers?
I movie pass it. I told you
Seriously?
guys. You guys didn't
yeah, because you're the asshole that takes the fucking handicap seats.
Hold on, real quick. This is what happened.
Don't defend yourself.
I go to the movie theater. I'm like, oh, I'm going to definitely grab the handicap seat and movie pass it. And I go up there and the girl's like, I mean, you can wait until the movie starts and then we'll see if you can use that movie pass if it doesn't get taken by then. And all these people are flooding. And I'm like, I'm not taking that chance. So I buy the ticket. And then she's like, hey, you could do this. Go to your seat. Once it's movie time, come out here. I'll refund your ticket and you can use your movie pass. And I just started to think, well, first thing I thought was, wow, you're the greatest. Second thing I thought was, why have we fucking been doing this from the start?
Meanwhile, Tiny Tim is outside on crutches and he can't sit in his handicap seat.
He's
because
wobbling.
Mark
He's
needed
got
to
like
see Infinity War.
There was a guy that came up to me once on crutches. He was poking me. I just pretended to be asleep. And then he went to the other guy that was in the other handicap seat and took his.
0% chance that's true.
I know. I would be such a dick, but it sounds like something I would do.
Yes, I agree with that part.
Yes, it
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Right.
Put the hood ups.
Yeah.
Dreams2114 says Avengers 4, Martha.
Is that supposed to be a DC reference?
Do you get it, Mark?
I do.
Are you sure?
I don't necessarily know if I get it. I think I get it. It just still doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I think you
Is
get
that
it.
is that Batman's mom?
Is she making fun of DC movies?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay, I didn't know if there was some underlying meaning, if there was actually a Martha in the Marvel universe.
There is not. I mean, I'm sure that there is.
So she's
But
talking.
it's a shot at DC.
She's talking about Superman's mother and talking about Batman's mother as well.
Yes.
Both named
Both
Martha.
of their mothers are named Martha.
Yeah, that's how
Are
great
they
the writing
brothers?
is.
How did you not get this when we went to...
Oh my God! Wait, are they brothers? Holy
Are they
fuck,
brothers?
Brick! Brick just.
I just broke open DC.
Or did maybe you just fixed it? Who knows?
What did you just figure out? Oh my God! We gotta post this on Reddit right now.
Brilliant.
Our guy TJ texted us and said Avengers 4 Thickos,
Thickos.
which
With-
I
with
assume
two
is a
Cs?
reference to a meme that I just don't get.
It's Tickos, by the way. It's like
Okay.
if you're gonna call a girl tick,
I don't
like
do
she's
that.
thick, she's got booty, she tick. You know what I'm saying?
Moving on.
Tickos. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Gina on Facebook said, End of Evangelion Part 2. Okay, so I don't know what this is, but I looked it up and I want you guys to listen to the first sentence of the synopsis from this.
All right. Lay it on us.
Teenager Shinji Ikari is the pilot of the Evangelion Unit 1, one of several giant cyborgs, yada yada yada. Distraught over the death of his friend, Shinji visits fellow pilot Asuka Langley Soryo in a hospital and masturbates to her comatose body.
Okay, we'll stop there.
That's about as far as I got into the Wikipedia article.
Okay, that would probably take the number 2 spot as the best name for Avengers 4 for me.
My question is, why didn't you read further on?
Yeah, true. You want to keep going with that, or
no? I really don't.
Okay,
I need to do that in private.
Okay,
nice. Yeah, he splooged all over her dead potato body. Sorry, I
Jesus.
apologize.
Ew.
Okay.
Ew.
Will on Facebook says Endgame, which is the common theory on the internet.
My submission: Avengers Spend Game.
Moving on.
I'll just
Oh
get off the
man.
I'm going to go ahead and kill that, Mike. LOL_Ariel says The Return.
Too simple. I'm sorry, Ariel. The
Sometimes
Return.
less is more.
Wait, didn't we hear The Return? Somebody said something along those lines. And then
somebody said Endgame.
No, it was like one of the first ones. And then I went on to The Return of what?
I thought it was a Derrick Rose reference. That never happened.
True. If it's a Derrick Rose reference, that's my number 3 spot right there.
Last one I have to talk about. Kakat Lemon 1X Advance.
Wait, what is that name?
Which is clearly someone that's just peddling something on Instagram. Sent us something in a language I did not recognize. It says Samoga Mura Raziki. So I Googled this.
You Googled the shit, didn't you?
Of course I did.
You fucking
Roughly.
The Lion King phrase.
Roughly, this translates to hopefully cheap sustenance and mate.
Sum that up for us, Smithers.
Please.
Cheap dinner and buck.
Okay. Mate.
Taco Bell and buck.
But what if it's not mate as in that sense? Like having sex. What if it's mate as in like Australians, they say mate, like a friend.
I don't think that's how translations work.
You never know.
Since we're talking Westworld this episode, we want to hear who you think in real life is actually a robot. So, for example, I personally think that Benedict Cumberbatch.
I fucking knew you were going to say that. I swear to God.
No, you thought I was going to say
I was looking for
Humperdinck
Pumper Snatch or whatever. Yeah, dude, I hate your guts.
There's no way. Look at the guy and tell me he's not a fucking robot.
They fucked up his voice
weird-ass
feature.
face.
They fucked up his voice feature and it made it too deep, dude. That's true.
His weird foot-shaped face. That is a robot.
Do you not like him or something?
No, I think he's great. He's a great robot actor.
Okay. I need to think about this one.
He's been programmed with some great acting skills.
I think... Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. He's too real.
He's too real.
Too real.
Okay.
Obviously, you can find us anywhere on social media at the Chumpcast, or you can text us at 847-920-6107. If you have a good theory, call us and leave a voicemail. We really appreciate those, and we will play them on the show.
Okay, for real though, who is that quarterback on the Raiders? Markovich or something like that? Markovich?
Yeah.
He was like, they had an ESPN special on him, how he was like bred to be a quarterback and he just hated his life.
Elon Musk might be a fucking robot.
He's an alien. I don't think he's actually a robot.
Yeah, I don't know. What if he just transformed into a Tesla car? He's like, I am Tesla. Literally.
Like that Rick and Morty episode where Morty turns into a car and this...
Exactly. Yeah.
No, he's an alien, and that's the entire reason why he's building rocket ships is because he's trying to go home.
That could be very true. That is true.
He's transporting more aliens back to Earth, and he's going to take over. He already has the capital for it.
No, he wants to take over Mars.
He realizes Mars.
Maybe he's bringing people to Mars as food for his brothers and sisters.
For the Galgamaks.
Suck my jaga. All right. As it is the beginning of the month, we are going to talk about what's new to our streaming platforms.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Some good stuff coming to Netflix. Obviously, we start with the industry leader. We're getting Hellboy 2.
Wow.
We're getting Red Dragon, The Bourne Ultimatum, Wanted, another comic book movie.
Awesome.
Oscar award-winning film Coco already, which kind of surprised me.
Oh, I'm so happy. I didn't get to finish it. I was on the last 20 minutes on my flight to Thailand, and I couldn't finish it.
You were on a 14-hour flight, and you couldn't watch Coco.
I slept for about 9 hours and then woke up and I watched the fucking Matt Damon movie where he shrinks. Downsizing. I watched that movie.
Oh.
Wasn't too impressed with it.
World Police.
No, I wish I was watching World Police.
Brick, did you hear Mark say 9 iron? I wonder what he's thinking about right now.
I did. I was going to make a golf joke, but I couldn't. I didn't have enough wit.
Yeah, but anyways, I started Coco then and didn't get to finish it. So I'm pumped for that.
The colors in that movie are just excellent.
And there is a big twist. Big plot twist in that movie.
That's safe to say.
I enjoyed it.
We're also getting another season of The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Do either of you watch this?
I do not. I have heard about it, though.
I've seen episodes of it, but I haven't really gotten into it.
It's very silly in the vein of 30 Rock. It's a Tina Fey written and produced show, so it's kind of similar to that. We're also getting 40-Year-Old Virgin, classic film.
You know what? I haven't seen that in so long. That reminds me of, that just goes along with Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Knocked Up, and like people forget about 40-Year-Old Virgin. Shit was hilarious.
There was a 5-year span where we got a bunch of those movies, and then there's nothing after that since, and nothing.
The last
really...
one I can remember is, oh my god, it was the This Is 40 was actually funny.
I Love You Man was great too. That was a good one.
Anchorman was like in that 5-year window.
You think?
But then they did Anchorman 2. Some originals coming to Netflix. We have a movie called Anon, starring Amanda Seyfried and Clive Owen. And this comes out tomorrow. I'm pretty pumped for this. So it's a future where no one can stay anonymous. There was this big data leak, and everyone has this tracking software like implanted in their brains. One woman, Amanda Seyfried, has found a way around it, and maybe she's committing some crimes, murdering some people, and Clive Owen is a detective who is trying to track her down and figure out who it is.
So he can't look through her social media? She just like doesn't have social media, and now she can murder people?
It's in the future, prick. Come on.
That is the future, bro.
Ugh.
Come on.
Another original coming to Netflix is called Cargo. It's starring Martin Freeman. It is a zombie world where you have 48 hours after being bitten by a zombie before you turn. So he has to find a way to save his infant daughter before he turns into a zombie.
He has to figure out who's going to watch over her, basically.
Either find a cure or hand off his daughter to somebody that he trusts.
It's one or the other. Who's going to watch your fucking kid, or how are you going to cure yourself? You can't be juggling both at the same time.
Dude, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, let's watch it together then. That's what I'm saying.
It's not out yet.
We never watch things anymore.
Dude. Kelly cannot
Is that a movie?
Soon enough.
Is that a movie or a series? It's got to be a movie, right?
It is a movie.
It's a movie. Seems great.
All right, coming to Amazon this month, a ton of old school James Bond flicks. So if you want to just turn your brain off and watch silly gadgets and shit, maybe some Roger Moore, it's a good chance to do that.
We also bring up some of those best James Bond gadgets. What were those gadgets that we had in the listener question the other day?
We had the alligator submarine.
There's one more that was super good too. Some of the flamethrower bagpipe. That's what it was. Yeah. That was amazing. Bagpipe. Okay, yeah. Definitely check out those Bond flicks. They're the best.
We're also getting Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, kind of sort of adaptation from one of my favorite books. It was a decent movie, I guess.
I never saw it. I've heard good things for the book.
The book is amazing. We're getting a Rocky and Bullwinkle reboot show. Did either of you watch Rocky and Bullwinkle?
I did.
Didn't they do a remake with Brendan Fraser?
Fraser, yeah.
Or am I thinking of... was he in the Looney Tunes reboot?
Yes, he was back in action. Looney Tunes back in action. And
who was in Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Rocky and Bullwinkle was a remake recently. I feel like Danny DeVito was one of the villains, the Russian villains.
This came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at the CGI.
Jason Alexander. That's who was Boris.
Oh man.
Is this like when CGI came to fruition?
Yeah, kinda.
Let me see this. Scroll up a little bit.
Dude, this has a hell of a cast.
I feel like that might be one of those undercover funny movies that you wouldn't recognize.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Like Starsky and Hutch was like really funny, but like under the radar kind of.
I actually like that movie. Randy Quaid, Robert De Niro, Janine Garofalo, Carl Reiner. Oh my God. John Goodman, Keenan and Kel were in this.
Brilliant.
Holy shit. Maybe we need to go back and rewatch this.
We need a throwback episode.
We're going to do a throwback. We're going to do like Space Jam.
Everybody's seen Space Jam.
Coming to Hulu this month, we have 5 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Not bad if you feel like getting a little creepy with it. Though they are a little rapey.
It's always a touchy subject with movies nowadays.
I don't like the sound that you made after I said rapey.
It was more of a like, I don't know how I feel about that. Not like a like that.
Like you just saw a cupcake?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is they sounded the exact same. So
yeah, both.
Me not being able, I don't see you on the screen either. So like, I totally picture being like,
He kind of like furrowed his brow. We're also getting the Matrix trilogy, the Crow quadrilogy.
I've never seen any of the Crow movies.
Oh, at least watch the first one.
Is that movie rapey at all?
No.
Kind of.
No.
The mark's out.
No diddling, he's out.
Fuck you guys.
We're getting Demolition Man and 12 Monkeys.
What the fuck is 12 Monkeys?
Seriously?
12 Monkeys is that sci-fi show, right?
Do you guys remember when we talked about like twin movies, Armageddon and Deep Impact?
Yes.
This was like Outbreak and 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
Those were twin movies. So they came out around the same time. But yeah, it's just like virus movie. Great, let's get into the news for the week. There are now rumors circulating that Jamie Foxx has been offered the lead role in the upcoming Spawn movie. How do we feel about this?
I don't know anything about Spawn. Could you enlighten me a little bit? Don't go deep, but enough.
I will say this.
Spawn is not black.
Yes, he is.
If he's black, I'm sold on Jamie Foxx.
It's been said that Spawn in this movie is a non-speaking role.
What's the point then? Get a nobody.
I don't know. He has really good facial expressions. He's kind of jacked. He can get jacked.
True.
He can definitely get
that
jacked.
Spider-Man role, right? Or no?
We don't speak of that. That was terrible.
All right. I guess if you need to have a really good actor for non-verbals,
You get Tom
I like
Hardy.
Jamie Foxx in anything he does, honestly. I'm trying to think of a bad movie.
You just named one. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was terrible.
Okay. I liked him in it. It wasn't terrible.
When he starts
It was
playing
watchable.
dubstep, just fucking... Ugh.
I can name a bad Jamie Foxx movie.
I can name a lot of them.
Django
That's not the
Unchained.
point.
Sleepless
Okay,
was
that movie was
pretty
incredible.
fucking terrible.
I threw away the Sleepless poster that I had the
It
other day.
was so bad.
I
Such
don't
a
know
bad
why
movie.
we were so excited for, speaking of trailers that were so awesome and the movie was so disappointing. Sleepless. That was one of the first episodes that you and I did together.
Was it?
Go ahead.
Because that was one of the first episodes I think I listened to. And how much further along was I on than Mark?
I
thought it was
no
like
idea.
10
10 or
episodes or
15
something.
episodes.
You mean how much further along was I than you? I
Yeah.
think I started like 15 episodes earlier. Yeah, something like that. That was one of those trailers where they just played a banger of a song, like
It
some
was
Drake
Drake.
song.
Yeah.
And it was one of those movies where they had absolutely no score, no soundtrack, nothing. Because they probably didn't
What?
want to front the money to get rights to using a song.
Yeah.
It was
so
terrible.
Oh,
Fucking
that's a
terrible.
botch.
Yeah, don't ever
You need
watch
to
I'm
have
that.
so pissed about that
You
movie.
need to have a great score with a good action movie.
As much as I could sit here and hate on Sleepless, we should move on.
Move on.
We got the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer in which we see how many different ways they can incorporate making things big or small. It's really hard to think that this movie won't be disappointing on the heels of Infinity War.
I think
agree.
they knew it was going to be disappointing either way. So they're like, well, let's throw it after. Maybe we'll get some hype because they weren't even in Infinity War.
I think what Ryan is saying is that he doesn't think this will be disappointing after everyone is so pumped up about Infinity War.
No, it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting that vibe at all. He's going to hate it.
I think the way you said it was wrong then.
What?
Doesn't matter.
The way Ryan
think
phrased
this is
it was
going to-
wrong.
Yeah, I think it's going to be disappointing.
Okay.
Mostly because there's a giant ant playing the drums in this trailer,
Okay.
and it
Well, I'm
looks
sold.
real dumb.
I'm sold. I mean, it is Ant-Man, and that's your favorite superhero, is it not, Ryan? So I know you're excited, but
I do like Paul Rudd,
he was
Who is
great
the,
in I Love You, Man.
Who is his friend? His
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena. Let me
Pena.
go back.
Also, T.I. T.I. was in that. I wonder if he'll come back.
So yeah, Michael Pena is in that movie, and he was actually hilarious. I have some sort of hope that Ant-Man can be watchable. The first one was solid. I mean,
Way to set the bar high with watching.
I know it's like all Marvel movies are good in terms of usually they have some comedy, there's some good action. Paul Rudd's always funny. Michael Pena though stole the show in Ant-Man. The floor is low in my opinion, just because it is a Marvel movie. It's tough to
So the
be
floor
the
is
movie
high.
after Infinity War though.
I think you can't really... They can fail, but I don't think Marvel will fail with this type of movie because it's going to be fun. That's what it's going to be. You make shit big. You make shit small. You make him fly through a straw. Oh, that's so cool. Shoot out the other end. And then he grows giant, takes a shit on top of a boat. Yeah, like there's so much shit you can do
I'd
with
watch
this.
that.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
That is
So
it. That is
I'd be
Suck
very
it, Edgar
surprised
Wright.
if Marvel failed.
No, I'm
And
not saying
making
they're
this
going to
a fun
fail. I just personally, my expectations.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10
There
already.
is-
As my
Brilliant.
prediction.
There-
See, that's the thing is like Marvel has this perfect formula for having a low floor of, a high floor for every movie
you
they
keep
have.
saying low floor.
And as a high floor,
Setting the
DC,
bar
How
high?
the fuck do you botch everything though? How does DC botch everything besides Batman Ninja and Dark Knight? Like
And
they
Wonder
botch
Woman?
everything. Like what the fuck?
Wonder Woman wasn't a botch.
I'll be
Wonder Woman
interested
was
to see what happens
incredible.
with Aquaman.
I think Aquaman will be a hit, but I say that about most movies that DC
All right,
comes
back to
out.
Ant-Man. We do see Ghost, the main villain, who is pretty cool. Basically, they gender swapped this role for this movie. I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter, I guess.
Gender is
But
fluid.
basically, Ghost is like this industrial spy. They do industrial espionage. Has this suit that lets her, in this case, phase through walls and just steal like trade secrets and stuff. Traditionally an Iron Man villain, always trying to take down Stark Industries.
Mhm.
Kind of just wants to take money from rich people. But it's a really
Like a
cool
Robin Hood?
villain in the comic books. kind of came to light more so recently. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Also, since we talked Marvel, Infinity War broke every record ever with a $258 million opening weekend.
Woo.
I actually projected this to be higher, but I didn't take into consideration that this movie is 2.5 hours long. So they can't get in as many showings.
Are you scared about the future of superhero movies? And I'm not just talking about Marvel. I'm just talking in general because Marvel is killing it. And these movies are so good right now. And you have the Russo brothers that know what the fuck they're doing with superhero movies and can make incredible stories and perfect storylines for all their characters. So what happens when they're gone? Because you think they're going to be around forever to do this for the next 10 years?
Marvel's just going to keep paying them money. There's no shortage of good stories. We've got 70 years of comic book stories to tell.
All I'm saying is, to sum it up, in 10 years, are you going to be a little hesitant on how good these movies you think could potentially keep being? Or do you think there's...
You can say that about movies. I mean, look at what's happening in the box office right now, where everything's a remake or a sequel. Yeah, of course. But that doesn't mean that they'll be bad. And also, it doesn't mean that they can't come up with some fresh new idea or a new way to display it.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's new technology out there that's going to be exponentially better in 10 years. That's going to be a 4 fucking D crazy VR movie of Marvel. Like, they're going to make things better. It's only going to get better from here, in my opinion. DC,
also,
on the other hand, you never know what they're going to do.
Well, I guess
it's
extremely reliant on the actors and actresses who play these roles too.
The writing's always been pretty on point.
Okay, but when Tom Holland's done and then someone comes in, I'm going to assume Tom Holland is going to murder the Spider-Man role and he will become the Spider-Man in movies for a lot of people.
Then they'll pass it on to Miles Morales in 10 years.
Okay, and then what if...
So you're afraid of what happened to DC? Like,
exactly.
What happens after the Joker plays this monumental role?
Exactly.
And how do you rebound after this incredible actor, you know?
And you have
Is
to
that
bring
what you're
that
going
up
for?
Right now with Marvel because you have one of the biggest characters in the Marvel universe. You have Logan, you have Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman is going to be everyone's Wolverine until they die.
Can I
movies.
sum this up?
Yeah.
Basically, you're saying that Marvel movies have been too good.
Yeah. And I think it comes with the actors and actresses behind it.
Okay. I think we can just leave it at that. I don't think that will be a problem. If they start losing money, they'll stop making these movies.
Okay.
They won't lose money.
No. The better trailer than Ant-Man and the Wasp was for the Teen Titans Go to the Movies film.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, I assume you watched this.
I've watched the trailer, yes.
Brick, I assume you didn't. But it does feature Nick Cage as Superman and Will Arnett as Deathstroke. And also some legitimately funny jokes about people who think that Deathstroke is Deadpool.
Yep.
Holy shit, I need to see this trailer.
Deadpool
I love
or Deadshot?
Will Arnett. What is it called?
No, they think he's Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
They call him Deadpool.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
The trailer is hilarious. I'm very excited for this. I've never watched Teen Titans Go. I assume that you have.
In the morning sometimes.
So like a Pokemon while you're eating cereal type thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It actually is kind of funny, I'll be honest.
I went back and watched
the movie.
Yeah, I watched an episode of Teen Titans Go. They bring on some athletes sometimes. They brought on LeBron to an episode, so it's just LeBron as a Teen Titans Go type of character. It was pretty good.
What character was he? Or was he just
He
LeBron?
was LeBron.
Oh,
he was LeBron James.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go the movie that's like a real
movie.
actors
It
or
is
voice
an
actors?
animated theatrical release.
Okay.
It's like Hey Arnold when it hit the movie theaters. There's
And
a
the
teen.
Rugrats.
So it's
the
not
Rugrats
gonna be-
go to Paris.
So it won't be in theaters. It
will be in theaters.
It will be in
Hence,
theaters.
Oh, wow.
theatrical release.
Okay. I actually watched the show back when I was not doing anything at all.
Like
They got
last
some
week.
good jokes in there.
It was-
They got some good jokes in there.
The most important trailer for this week is for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh hell yeah!
I am pretty sure that I'm going to take the day off that this comes out just to roll through it. I was kind of thinking we could do a Twitch streamathon that entire day. I'll just take a couple breaks to go to the bathroom, but the rest of it I'll just stream straight through.
October 26th. Mark it in your fucking calendar because it's
There you
going to be incredible.
Don't look at me. I've
Rumor
never played
have
this
it-
game before.
You are an idiot.
Dude, I was
Rumor has it they're adding in a battlegrounds mode,
Ooh.
which is PUBG but fucking Red Dead Revolver Cowboy Outlaw style, which
I'm
would be
here for that.
incredible.
Yeah. What were you,
Can you
Mark,
imagine-
were you going to say you were too young for this?
No, I was going to say I was playing GTA. That came out when GTA Vice City was out, I'm pretty sure.
Came on after
This is
that.
a Rockstar
Red
game.
Dead,
They
yeah.
stagger their releases. It's not like they released them on the same day.
Yeah, and I had a life, kind of, not really,
No,
but I was still playing GTA for about half a year, like most people do with those games.
Ignore Mark. Tune into the Chumpcast Streamathon October 26th.
This is
For
not
real,
happening.
though.
I
That
guarantee you it won't
100%.
happen.
I'm taking this day off work.
It won't happen.
No, it will happen. Are you going to get the PC version or are you going to get Xbox?
So with Rockstar, the PC version usually doesn't come out until like a year later. So I'll probably have to get it on Xbox.
That's true.
But I can stream that through my PC. So
Wow. Okay.
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I'll be on too. We'll do Red Dead Redemption Battlegrounds.
Fuck
Brick
yeah.
and Smithers.
Will you play the story first?
No.
Or are you just going to go
Absolutely
straight to
not.
the Battle Royale?
I like the story. That's one thing that Rockstar does flawlessly is build an incredible story and an incredible, universe. And it's
Totally
basically
agree.
Westworld in a video game. That's why I like Westworld so much. Is like this storyline just reminded me of Red Dead.
Wow.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. But I get
No,
the
I'm just
Old
saying like
West
the whole concept of it is like real life Red Dead.
Last piece of news. The DC Universe, their upcoming streaming service, that's what it's going to be called, by the way, has announced that James Wan, who directed all the Saw movies and Insidious and is directing the upcoming Aquaman film, will be producing a Swamp Thing TV show.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing a Harley Quinn animated series, I'm pretty sure.
I don't care about that. Do you read Swamp Thing?
No.
Why?
I'm going to start because Jason Fabok is doing the art with that, and it's
Please,
pretty
thank
awesome.
you.
They just did a winter annual it looks amazing. I need to pick that up off the shelf. Probably tomorrow. I'll go.
I don't know why I saved that for last. That's like the smallest piece of news. But who the fuck is going to pay for a DC streaming service besides you?
Here's why I don't think it's that bad of an idea. Obviously, the DC movie fans, there's not that much of a following right now because the movies aren't great.
Yeah.
However, if you disagree on this with me, you're completely wrong. DC shows on the CW have a huge following. Arrow.
That does not make
Supergirl.
them good.
It has a huge following. And when you start making more shows like that and restricting it to a streaming service, this is all I'm saying. It may work out for them because who knows who's going to keep on going to see these movies.
Is that what you think is going to happen, though? They're going to take these shows off the CW?
I don't necessarily think that. I think this is going to be a little test to see how it works out with a few shows and seeing how many people subscribe and are interested. But I don't think it's that bad of an idea. Yes, a lot of people are going to say it's a shitty idea. I'm not too fond of it, even though I don't really watch all those shows like Arrow and stuff.
But you'll pay for it.
No, I don't think I'm going to pay for it because I'm not really into those shows. So, but the people that are, even though they're going to bitch about this, I still think they're going to end up buying the subscription. That's
Time will
my
tell.
take.
Best man alive time. Brick, hit me with it.
James Bakun.
God, who
Unrelatable.
the fuck is that?
Totally unrelatable.
My
Go
guy.
ahead.
He's gonna get married soon. We're doing a bachelor party in Vegas, and I hate his guts for making me go to Vegas, but we're going to Vegas. It's gonna be incredible. Peace.
You're the most introverted, not introverted guy in the world.
Oh yeah.
I know deep down you're a real introvert, but when you're out in public, people are like, that guy gets it. And they just want to be
Literally.
around you and party.
Yeah, that is me. 100%. I'd rather be at home playing vids, but
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna be out in Vegas. I'm making an ass clown of myself.
And spending thousands of dollars.
Yes, dude. Fuck. Could buy a PC with that.
So stay home
Thanks,
and
James.
we'll build you
owe
one.
me a PC.
My best woman alive is Celine Dion
I know why.
for making
I
a
know,
music
I do.
video with Deadpool dancing interpretively in high heels in the background.
Fucking wearing pumps.
This is brilliant marketing.
Jesus.
And at the end, when he says, I should have gotten in sync, it's just so, their marketing team is brilliant. I wonder if this is all Ryan Reynolds.
You mean dancing?
No, of course not. I
What
mean,
if
the
that-
marketing ideas.
What if that was Ryan Reynolds doing
0%
that?
chance.
What if it was?
Then
Like,
he
they
is
proved
very
it.
flexible.
That would have been great if they like somehow proved that was really him dancing. It would make it
That
that
was-
much better.
Yeah, Neil is the one who tagged us in that, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
my guy Neil, who I will see next week in Denver.
Nice.
Yeah, Neil's the man. That was
Shout
a
out
great
to
tag.
Neil.
Great tag. Keep doing more of that. We appreciate it.
Got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Kanye West and sum it up in one sentence. Scoop
Slavery.
Poop, poopity poop, poop to scoop to scoopity poop. All right, there we go. Let's move
Didn't
on.
he say something about how slavery was voluntary this week?
I have
Yeah.
no idea. All I know is I
Yes, he
listened to
did.
that one song, or he came out with two songs. He did a song with T.I. where it's more of a conversation type rap deal going on. But I'm sure you understood what I just mentioned.
Scoop de poop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his other song, and
No, I
we're
get
gonna
it.
most likely lead out with that song. I would say.
Absolutely.
Oh,
We're leading out with that
We're
song.
going out with Celine Dion.
Nope.
And that decision is final.
Just mix it up a little bit.
Absolutely not.
Mix it up.
I agree with Celine Dion, but also Alvarado, our guy Alvarado, wanted to switch his gamer tag from original poop to poopity scoop because because that is fucking hilarious.
Poopity scoop.
He is one of the best gamer tags, though. Original poop. It was pooped on before. Now it's original poop because people are like, is pooped on original poop? He's original poop.
No one says that, but yeah.
All right, I got one more person to mention. A man has been banned from 2 Florida parks and charged with cruelty to animals after kicking several swans in the head for quote-unquote karate practice. Practice. Talk
Practice,
about
motherfucker.
Worst guy
Rocco-
alive. Why you gonna kick an animal? Fuck that
Rocco
guy.
Mantella was seen by multiple witnesses at Lake Eola attacking the swans as well as a sleeping duck on April 26th. Police were called to stop Mantella, who was allegedly hitting the swans, quote-unquote, as hard as possible.
Wow. I don't care for animal abuse, but my one question is this. Are swans not like geese in any way? Because I remember when I was a kid trying to chase geese and they'd fucking work me and get away from me. Are swans slow? Like you can walk up to them and kick them like that?
Swans are way more docile and not nearly as mean.
Okay.
If this guy was
geese
out there
are
kicking
super
geese, I'd be fine with it. Geese are assholes.
You've been attacked
I was
by
gonna
geese
say,
for sure.
yeah. I was literally gonna be like, all right, a swine is one thing, but just like fight a goose if you're gonna fight a fucking bird, you know? Fuck that
Also,
guy.
Swans are like the most beautiful animals you
They're
can
so elegant.
Yeah.
And you're just going to
They're
karate
almost as
kick it.
majestic as unicorns. I mean, the only person who can kill a swan and almost get away with it is Larry David.
Did he kill any of the swans?
I don't think so. They couldn't
In-
find
in
a
an
swan
episode he
corpse.
did.
So,
Oh, God.
I don't know.
What
In an
an
I
asshole.
just
episode
wanted
he
to throw
did.
that out
He
there.
killed us.
What a
Because I thought it
jag
was
off.
hilarious story. Yeah, he's a douchebag. But also, he's in Florida, so what do you expect?
True.
That wraps up this segment. Let's talk Batman Ninja.
Batman
Wow.
Ninja.
And we have this and Westworld to talk about. We got a big episode today.
Let's talk about it.
This was my recommendation last week. I kind of regret that.
Yeah, I would say so.
What are you talking about? It was incredible.
I don't think Brick minded it, really.
I think I have a theory on this in that it has lots of bright colors and flashes and things that just kind of keep your attention, like shiny stuff.
Yeah.
And there's zero plot, so there's nothing that really you have to pay attention to. You just you're like a baby looking at a thing spinning above your crib.
Just buckle up because you're going on one hell of a ride.
Look,
Dude,
the animation for
everything
this is
about that was
absolutely
incredible.
gorgeous. The plot is nothing. The dialogue is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But it has Buster Bluth as the Joker.
No.
That's Tony Hale.
You've got to be shitting me.
I swear to
that
God.
makes that so much better now.
He was pretty
Insane.
good.
The movie is now a 9 instead of an 8 for Brick.
More
Mark,
like a
can
10,
you
dude.
walk me through the plot for this?
All right. I guess I can. Gorilla Grodd is the main antagonist, I would say. Gorilla Grodd is, for the most part, from the Flash universe in DC. He creates a time machine. They all get sucked in this time machine. 5 villains. I think that includes Two-Face, Deadshot, or Deathstroke. I did it. There, I fucking caught myself. Deathstroke, Two-Face, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Gorilla Grodd's there, of course, and then Joker. So ultimately 6 people, 6 antagonists in this
Sure.
movie. Catwoman is sucked into this, and then Batman, of course, is sucked in, and Batman basically all of a
the
sudden
Robins.
ends up in Japan. Yes,
Feudal Japan.
I was going to get to that, but yes, feudal Japan back in whatever century long ago. Skip forward, he faces off with Joker a little bit. Things get weird, even more weird when we see Sumo Bane come into play
I think that's
Bane
where
was
you
my
lost
favorite.
me.
at Sumo Bane.
Yeah.
I was extremely upset about the Sumo Bane part,
Because
by
he
the
was
way.
fat,
I was pumped for him in the trailer, and then he had, 30 seconds in the whole movie
if that.
of time? Yeah, terrible. Anyways,
They just
then we
threw
come
his
to
cameo
find...
in. They just threw his cameo in there, which is annoying because he could have been sweet. Sumo Bane is hilarious.
Anyways, you're yawning. I'm about to start yawning too. Nightwing's in this. Red Robin.
Red Hood.
Red Robin, though.
Yeah,
Tim
he's in
Drake.
there too.
Robin, who is Damian Wayne.
Yep.
Red Hood. Jason
Damian
Todd.
Wayne sucked in this, by the way.
Yeah, true.
His hair was terrible. He looks awful.
Speaking of hair,
His hair
Alf,
was hilarious.
the hair was pretty awesome and not awesome in this movie. I will mention Alfred Pennyworth is in this, and he has a little ponytail type thing going on, and he still is bald in the front, which is pretty over the top. But hey, you're in Japan, and the 18th century or whenever it was, 19th century, early 19th century. No?
No, like way before that.
Really?
Feudal Japan. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
What century would it be?
If I had to guess,
17th?
I would say like the 800s.
Really?
It doesn't matter.
I can't pinpoint that for you. I'm not fucking the guy that does hardcore history.
I guess we just Google it.
Who had worse hair? Friar Tuck Batman or Robin with that fucking like chicken head mohawk?
Robin,
for
100%.
sure.
For reference, feudal Japan began in 1185.
Holy fuck. I did not put that together. Doesn't really do anything more for me, though.
Means nothing.
Means nothing to me.
Brick, it seems like you're the only one that wants to defend this. So go ahead.
I think it's hilarious that, first of all, this movie was even made. Second of all, brilliant that it was Tony Hale was the Joker. What did you guys think of the back and forth between the Joker and Batman? Too over the top, or was it just enough?
This is not my favorite Batman voice actor, obviously, but I mean, he did fine. He had a real Bryan Cranston thing going on.
He did kind of sound like Bryan Cranston.
Tony Hale did great. Writing didn't do any favors. This movie is not that good.
It's not good. And
it's just cheesy Batman, and like the way they set it up was like, I thought it was more like the game Arkham Asylum the whole time. There's like they set up these factions that are fighting against each other, trying to get these power stones in order to get the time machine working again. I guess the best thing about it was, I think, the Batmobile turning into the Bat Jet, turning into a Bat motorcycle, turning into Bat Transformer suit, where he fucking sumo wrestles Bane. That was my favorite part of the whole movie, I think, which is hilarious.
No, this is so over the top stupid. Like a giant, a group of monkeys turns into a giant like Gundam. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like the buildings turn into literally mega
Transformer, Pacific Rim type shit. What'd you guys think of that? Because that was essentially the whole plot of this movie, is that Gorilla Grodd had, what were they calling the little tubes?
I really tuned out about halfway through this.
I don't know. But anyways, all 5 villains had these little things that Gorilla Grodd needed for the time machine. But then we come to find out this was all part of his plan, because all the villains were essentially building up these Transformer type Pacific Rim houses. And then he would have it come together into one ultimate robot villain house, or whatever the fuck it was. And he would fight Batman with it. Made no sense. I can't really do this plot justice at all.
That's because there is no plot. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
All right, let's talk about the most important parts.
Which were?
Okay, you want to just rate this movie right now and then talk about it a little bit more and then wrap it up in about 3 minutes?
There's nothing to spoil in this movie because there's no plot. If I had to give this a rating, I'll give it a 4.
Okay, why?
And all of that is based on the fact that the animation was gorgeous.
Okay.
Other than that, there are no redeeming qualities.
Incredible. Animation was incredible. I gotta give them credit for that. I'm gonna put it at a 6 just for that. They switched animation styles between the movies too, which kind of took me off guard, but also when they like tried to convince you that guy when Red Hood wasn't attacking the Joker, and the Joker, he wasn't sure if it was the Joker or not, because they changed art styles. You couldn't tell if it was just a farmer who looked like the Joker with green hair or if it was the Joker.
No, I
thought that was kind of an interesting concept. I thought because also just the art behind it itself was kind of a cool just change of scenery. I just thought that was interesting.
You like that part where they changed the whole art in the Joker Harley Quinn scenes where they're not villains anymore and good, I guess?
I thought I was like, did I like fuck up my movie or something at first? And then I slowly realized it was just the different art style. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting.
I agree. I thought it was fun to look at, Ryan. But so the 2 guys that wrote this movie actually worked on
Afro Ninja.
No, well, they worked with Hayao Miyazaki on Spirited Away and some of his other movies.
Oh, you mean the animators?
So, no, the writers.
What?
Yes. So they obviously didn't learn shit from working with him, because this was nothing like any of his movies.
No.
So I don't know what went wrong here, but I enjoyed the imagery. The writing was shit, to be honest.
What writing? There was no writing.
Except for the million monkeys coming together and forming the Gundam at the end. It was pretty great.
Brick, I think you might just be a weeaboo.
I came into this movie thinking it was going to be absolutely ridiculous, and 100% was my expectation.
Are you going to go to sleep tonight with your full-length body pillow with a Japanese cartoon character drawn on it?
I have 3 different kinds, so probably all 3 of them, but maybe.
Your waifu?
Yeah, I call her my wife for short.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about this?
You didn't ask me what my rating was, Ryan. Do you not care from the DC guy what my rating is?
Don't.
You really don't?
Didn't you say you... No, never mind. That was Brick. Go ahead.
I'm going to give it an 8. No, I'll give it
better than Infinity War.
I'll give it a 5.5 on DC animated movie scales.
Imagine that. The DC guy gives it the highest rating.
It's pretty bad.
I gave it a 6. I think I gave it a 6.
However,
I give it a 5. What it is, man.
However, I did enjoy the battle at the end with the Joker and Batman on that roof. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
I was blown away by the voice acting that Tony Hale did because he does not sound like Buster Bluth when he's doing that. He was excellent.
I love how everything is always just Buster Bluth. That's his typecast. Buster Bluth.
Well, it's either that or who he plays in Veep, whose name is escaping me, but
Gary.
But which one's worse?
He's such a little bitch in both. You know? I love Tony Hale. He's such a great actor. What Batman universe do they go in next? Prehistoric Batman? 80s Vice Batman? Prohibition era Batman?
According to this,
Telemarketer
Batman is nothing without all of his technology, which makes 0 sense.
Here was the problem with this movie. Batman didn't do shit. Yeah, he defeated the Joker at the end, but ultimately the monkeys were the ones that saved the day, which is going to sound ridiculous if you haven't seen this movie and are listening to me talk about it, but fucking 1 million monkeys formed a gigantic Transformer type machine dude and defeated the Joker single-handedly pretty much.
Teamwork.
Is there any era that Batman has not yet been to?
You have medieval Batman. That's a real thing.
Steampunk Batman.
Gaslight Batman.
Beyond.
Gaslight Batman.
Future.
Yeah.
He did like a Jack the Ripper story.
Gotham by Gaslight, right?
Yeah.
That was a steampunk one.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of telemarketer Batman. I thought, Mark, you brought this up, and I thought that was hilarious. Like, what would Batman be selling, and who would be his boss? Would it be Two-Face, or would it be the Joker?
He's the beeper king. He's selling beepers.
I don't know, man. I think...
Oh, you know what I want to see? I want to see 80s Batman where Bruce Wayne is just coked out of his mind. That would be amazing.
Holy shit.
Who's he in the stall with at the disco, just ripping a line with?
It's Harvey Dent.
The Joker.
Pre-accident.
Ooh, okay. And then the Joker's his drug dealer, right?
Yeah, and he sells him some bad stuff. And then Harvey Dent goes on this horrible trip and falls into a vat of acid or something and only falls halfway in somehow.
I could do that.
I would be down. Bane is just the bouncer being like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here, you psychos. You guys are out of the club.
Seriously, what would the prehistoric Batman, what would that even look like?
Him riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But then wouldn't everybody be riding a Tyrannosaurus
No,
Rex?
he has a Batman Tyrannosaurus Rex, so it has like Batman ears and Batman armor.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Here's another problem with the fucking movie. How did they
Batman
build
would be trash?
In Batman Ninja, how the fuck did they build up these machine type houses that can transform? With what?
Well,
what do they have available to do this shit?
They allude to the Joker using coal to power machines.
It makes sense.
Which apparently was about 500 years before the Industrial Revolution. Look, this movie sucks. Ignore it.
Go watch it, people. It's interesting.
Don't spend any
Definitely
money on
go watch it. It's only 3 hours long.
It's just 3 hours.
It's an hour and 25 minutes. You didn't watch 3 hours of this, did you?
No, it said it was 3 hours.
Yeah, because the one that they sell you has the Japanese and English versions in it. They're both an hour and 25 minutes long.
Okay, well, I didn't watch all three. I'll be honest, I fell asleep through it.
Wait, did you watch the English dubbed one, or did you watch?
Yeah, I watched the English dubbed one. It wasn't just sitting there through the Hadouken. I wasn't just like
fucking Gaishin.
God damn it, Brick.
Can we talk about the thing that we actually wanted to get to tonight?
Yeah, let's talk about Westworld. Let's do this.
Eastworld.
I do want to throw this out there. It's, as of today, already been renewed for season 3.
That's amazing, but I'm not surprised.
Let's do a brief recap and speculate wildly about the hidden meanings.
Let's go.
So, Mark, you delved deep into this and you started listening to some Westworld podcasts?
A couple, yeah. So I'm using a lot of their material. I forgot what ones I listened to, so I can't necessarily give them exact credit and give off the names. Conveniently,
yeah,
but yes, I did take a lot of these ideas from podcasts, some YouTubes I was watching. I got real fucking deep into this, but
wow, Mark's the one with the tinfoil hat this year.
It's what you do with Westworld.
Yeah, and that's is that why you were 30 minutes late to Smith's house?
It honestly was. I was listening to a podcast while cooking a Home Chef that took 40 fucking minutes to cook. But
oh my god,
Home
40
Chef.
minutes for a meal. Should I say spoilers? Yeah, we're going to spoil this.
We're spoiling it. Let's go.
I will mark this in the show notes. check it out and wait around for our recommendations after we talk Westworld.
And by the way, people, only 2 episodes have been out, so if
we can't really spoil anything.
You should have caught up by now.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Honestly, we're not even spoiling anything. We're literally, the last 2 episodes have been just build up.
There's nothing to spoil so far because nobody has any fucking idea what's happening. All right. Bernard wakes up on the shore, basically having zero memory. He's having these blackouts and finding out shit he didn't know because he's with Charlotte, a.k.a. Tessa Thompson's character.
It's going to be me this weekend.
By the way, he's Teddy in that scene, and we'll get to that. But go on.
Do you think so?
Possibly.
Because
we'll get into it. Holy fuck, we're doing this.
He goes to this little secret lair that he didn't know about with Charlotte, and he finds these creepy, faceless, bodiless hosts that are just, I don't know, it was like Prometheus.
Yes, very much
just
so.
creepy as shit.
Don't even bring Prometheus in here. Prometheus sucks, trash. Oh, god damn it, god.
And we find out that these creepy hosts have been stealing or collecting the DNA of park guests. So basically, the guests come in, fuck these hosts, and then they collect the DNA from them.
Oh god.
Isn't that ultimately to use like blackmail against these against their guests?
One way to do it. I think that there's something a little more sinister going on, but we'll get into that in a few minutes.
Because that's the conversation that William had with his stepdad, right?
Well, he alludes to that, but he doesn't necessarily say that. He's just saying we have a different opportunity to make some money.
Against all these people that are paying $40,000 a day to go to the park.
I think I have a better theory.
Cool. Let's hear it.
All right. Charlotte, a.k.a. Tessa Thompson, also tells Bernard that they can't get out of there until they smuggle out Peter Abernathy, Dolores' father. So we learned last season that they're pushing all this code into him.
This is good.
And they're trying to smuggle it out so that they can get the IP that Ford's character has been writing code and all that shit. And there are a ton of theories on the internet right now that Bernard is one of many copies of Bernard, and that the hosts keep switching brains or memories or whatever you want to call it with him. So Teddy, is this what you were alluding to with Teddy being Bernard and Bernard being Teddy?
Yeah, because first of all, you'll notice in that first episode when Bernard wakes up on the beach, he needs his glasses for the most part throughout season 1. For some reason, he doesn't pick up his glasses. He doesn't need them all of a sudden.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Also, he kind of sounds like Teddy. If you pick up on his mannerisms and how he talks, big similarity there. Third off, why is Teddy dead in the water? We'll get into it, but in one of those scenes, he actually recites something Teddy says in season 1, which is, I think is along the lines of, I killed them all. I killed them all. When he was in that shootout, Bernard says the same thing when he's overlooking the lake with all of the dead hosts, and one of them being Teddy. So those are 3 points I would have to make to kind of justify that theory. Teddy equals Bernard.
Yes. And I think it could be true. I'm about 80% on this one, people.
Ryan is so proud of Mark right now, even though he instantly forgot that Mark just listened to a bunch of theories like 20 minutes ago.
I don't even care. I'm just proud of
leave
you.
It at that.
Okay.
He's got his tinfoil hat on. I'm so happy. All right. So about the DNA.
Is season 3 going to be me? Am I going to be the tinfoil fucking hat guy? Season 3?
100%.
Dude, I fucking love Westworld so much, though.
It's such a good
it's
show.
So good. The writing is so good.
The season so far.
Well, you're wrong.
You haven't really. Have you started talking about second episode that much? Not really.
Where he says, I killed them all. That's
so you can get into it more, but I just want to say the second episode, it took me a while to realize, but this may be my favorite episode ever in Westworld.
Wow.
Not because of reasons for what happened in the episode. It's more of reasons for what the episode means and how many different timelines.
Dolores.
Well, there's a shit ton of timelines that I think were happening at once, and it takes a little while to kind of fully comprehend it all.
Can we talk about the DNA gathering? What are they doing with this? Are they murdering the people that come to the park and then cloning them and putting those clones back out into the world?
Are we going to just start speculating more?
That's literally what this is about.
Okay, well, I think you then have to ask, what is the weapon?
I think it's hosts out in the world that have replaced these rich people.
Okay.
No. Well, then what does Dolores say at the end of the episode that we're going to use the weapon against themselves? And
okay.
What was also that big bridge or oil rig, or what the hell bridge did William show her at the end?
If the hosts are out in the real world and they're going to go to this weapon, quote unquote, which I think might be a satellite, and they start broadcasting like
murder everybody.
Exactly. Or just burn it all to the ground or whatever. That could be a weapon, and that could be Dolores' revenge on civilization.
It could be a broadcast going to Delos, and Delos ultimately submits something that brings all the hosts and snaps them into whatever fucking reality they all of a sudden are in, and thus giving Dolores the upper hand and having them turn on humans. Yeah, I think that is a very likely scenario as well.
My question to you guys is, what grouping of people do you want leading the uprising? Because we have Maeve, who is the superhuman supercomputer, and she's with the Outlaw, who's kind of a badass. And then we have Dolores and our other guy. What's his name?
Teddy.
I love Ted. Teddy's the man. He's such an idiot, but he just like has that gunslinger about him. He's the man. And then William, the man in black, who has been 30 years in the making trying to take down this whole operation. Who do you guys want? Everybody has good traits, good features. Everybody kind of has their own way of doing it.
So let's do this character by character, all right? Man in black, full psychopath. Just finally having gotten what he wanted, where there are real stakes in this, and the hosts are actually trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a full masochist.
He's loving it. He's a psycho. When those outlaws tried to kill him at the end, he was literally laughing after. He's like, these guys are getting pretty good.
Oh, Jesus, such a weirdo. And also, he meets Ford's like offspring kid clone.
Yeah.
That was creepy as shit when he started talking like Ford does, and then he puts a bullet in him. But he says something like, you're in my game. In this game, you have to find the door. Congratulations, this game is meant for you. What are the chances that we're looking at a host, robot William?
Yeah, so that's another theory, is that William is really a host William. The reason I think this could also be true is because a lot of people in the first season were asking a bunch of questions about his arm being injured. There was a scene where he was shot with a shotgun. Yes, he pulled the shotgun pellet out of his arm. People were speculating, saying there was some other stuff in there, some type of robotic material in there. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But in the last episode, he breaks his arm, and they thought he recovered pretty quickly from that. I don't know where that ultimately leads. My final point is, I think the phrase that we're all thinking about now, last season, what was the phrase everyone was talking about? It was,
that doesn't look like anything to me.
Exactly. Now it's, have you ever seen anything so full of splendor? I think that has to do with something just about the hosts. Only the hosts say things like that, because I think it's some type of programming in the hosts when they see something they shouldn't be seeing. And you'll remember in the second episode, pretty sure the episode ends with William saying that to Dolores, overlooking into the distance and seeing this quote unquote weapon they've been talking about. So he says that line. So is he saying that to fuck with her? Or is he saying that because he's seeing something he shouldn't be seeing? Thus, it's his programming because he's a motherfucking host. I don't know.
The weapon looks like a destroyed bridge, though. I mean,
it could be underground. There's a lot. They have the whole compound that's underground like that. It looks like a piece of shit little house, and then they go under and it's something completely different. So you can't just assume it's a shitty oil rig or whatever.
Could be.
Well, no, obviously
anything.
they build.
Could be anything.
That was them going west, and that was what they're ultimately looking for. Is just beyond. Everybody's got the same goal: is to head west, and once you get west, like it's either glory or whatever. Everybody has a different name for it, but they're all trying to have the same place, and this is what it is. And obviously, it's built by the creators, and it's something big, but it just looks like a destroyed oil rig.
Do you think it's Ford, or do you think it's Delos?
It's another up in the air thing, because they think Ford is a robot, right?
So let's talk about that, because I thought at the end of last season there was no way they actually killed Ford, and that was definitely a robot. They totally dispelled that by showing his rotting corpse.
But that's the thing, is they also have theories of him embedding himself into a host, and
he could have been the little kid that the Man in Black killed. He could be everywhere.
They have a bunch of theories that he has like the voice control abilities, and he was a host originally, and like they have a lot of clues of him alluding to life beyond like what existence is now and stuff like that. So
what you're ultimately saying, Smithers, is that it's confirmed that he is not a host because we saw the maggots eating his brain or eating his flesh.
That version was not a host.
Why?
Because you see the brains of these hosts, these robots, the little white thing in soup. He is basically a flesh and bone human being.
But do we get a good, I don't think we get a good look at the brain because they dissected a brain and there is brain matter on top of the little plug type thing that makes them host. I don't think you can necessarily make that assumption yet. I don't think we had enough. I don't think we had the visualization yet clearly where you can make that assumption because the hosts do have real flesh. They do have brain matter over their little plugs in their brains.
I just want to say that I've never been more proud of you.
Why? Because you've heard all these theories probably.
This was me last year and now it's you.
I know. I've heard that too, that people are like, oh, you can't assume he's a host anymore because we saw maggots eating his flesh. No,
I can assume whatever the fuck I want.
They've alluded several different times in the series that he can basically upload his own brain into a host and live forever, is like what they were getting at for.
Okay, you want to stay on this topic because he could have
been a human and they could have destroyed his brain, but they could have also uploaded his existence into one of the hosts and lived on through that.
I think he may be a host when he was killed by Dolores. And here's why. I think when they reference the first incident that they always bring up, we have no idea what the first incident at the park was. I think the first incident was actually Ford being murdered by Dolores. I think that Arnold really isn't Bernard. I think that Arnold wasn't even a real person at any point. I think Arnold was something Ford created, and this was a type of programming machine that was the one creating the hosts. Because you'll notice in the first season, you have Ford saying that Arnold was the one that created the first 49 or 48 hosts or whatever it was. I don't think Arnold was a physical manifestation. I think he was actually just a machine type program that Ford built, but ultimately became so advanced, Ford just kind of sat back and let Arnold do its thing, and Arnold was the one creating all these hosts. I then think that what happened is he kind of got the understanding what Ford wanted out of the hosts, and Arnold wanted, I don't know how to put this, but he wanted equal type rights for the hosts, I would say. He ultimately knew Ford's motives, so he had Dolores kill Ford in the first incident. And then he took Ford and create a host of Ford.
Jesus.
Does that make any sense?
No, not at all.
To manipulate
I love it.
I think the big theory there that I just mentioned is I don't think Arnold was ever a real person. I think Arnold was something that Ford created, and it was a programming that became so advanced that
What about his son? Is that just an implanted memory?
What about Bernard's son?
I guess technically that would be Arnold's son.
I don't think.
What about like the house that he shows Dolores?
Yes, I think that was all implanted. What you also might mention is, what about Bernard when he was in that picture and he was looking at himself?
It doesn't look like anything to me.
I think it was all just implanted. How the fuck would nobody know what Arnold looked like? How can you come up with something so great and have no recollection of what that person looked like in real life? Wouldn't someone say, oh, that's weird. That guy, that black guy who is Bernard, looks exactly like Arnold. Nobody ever mentions that. So isn't that weird?
But that's like an introvert. If you think about it, just like this guy, just some psychopath made this entire Westworld civilization, and he doesn't go out in the public. I mean, how would you make some sort of theme park? I mean, you could be a psychopath who needs to just,
I've actually seen a picture of the guy.
No, you haven't.
That's just my point. I think it's a little too typical that you're going to say, oh, this was a real person when we've never seen him in a real scenario. Dolores talking to Arnold was actually a figment of her imagination. That was never real.
Part of all this is once episode 3 comes out in 3 days, all of these will be completely irrelevant and we'll just have a list of new theories.
I know, but I think that's an important theory. I think my important theories right now are that Arnold was never a real person. And I think the Bernard being Teddy theory could be right. And the William is really a host William could also be right. There's a lot of theories out there that are crazy, but
I think my favorite theory is the DNA one and what they're doing with it in the real world. I think that's going to play a big part.
What is that theory?
So we know that they're getting DNA from the guests in the park. So what the fuck are they doing with that? I think they're killing the guests that come in and they're replacing them with hosts.
I think that's true. And that's all part of the scheme to send up some signal to a satellite that could be a weapon.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk Dolores because she is an utter badass in this season. She is the fucking star.
Can we talk about my favorite scene of episode 2, which is like the Last Supper when she's getting the Confederales or whatever the hell they're called?
Wasn't that weird when you saw that and they were all sitting on the same side of the table?
It was literally depicting the Last Supper, and she fucking kills all their asses, and then she resurrects him like he's Jesus, right?
That's
just
weird.
Symbolism at its finest.
And before she killed all of them, I looked at Eric and I'm like, why are they all sitting on the same side of the table? It's so weird.
That's some Last Supper type shit right there.
That's a total allegory.
Did you understand why the guy that was with her couldn't just program those guys to shut off?
No. I assume that's
because
they were beyond the programming. So like last season, we saw Ford was the only one who could do certain voice commands.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was them.
But Maeve has the same exact programming that they all have, that little iPad thing, and she can shut them off.
Maeve wasn't there.
So you're saying Maeve knows more about how to shut these people off, and the person that was there with the iPad doesn't?
It's possible.
Lab guy? I think it has to do with...
Maeve was upgraded. Maeve was upgraded with all those, with ultimate charisma, ultimate knowledge. She's upgraded with everything. Back to when Maeve and Dolores were talking to each other, did she give a voice command to Dolores and Teddy to let them pass?
Or
was that just like...
I didn't follow.
Does Dolores have like free will? Do you know when Dolores and Maeve have that confrontation?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolores has free will. I
think
everyone...
Or does Maeve have the ability for voice control to just walk past them and convince them to let them just walk past?
I think they both have free will.
I think every host is starting to have more and more free will, because there's scenarios with who's the guy that is now along with the Man in Black? Who's that character? I can't think of his name.
Ah, shit.
Blanking on his name. Doesn't matter.
But anyways, they always run a scenario with him where he kills these 3 guys, and the Man in Black finds him hung upside down in the tree.
Yep.
Obviously, the storylines are changing, and the hosts have more capabilities. So it's an obvious statement to say that the hosts are not in their storylines anymore.
Lawrence.
There you go.
Lawrence is the guy.
And my point was, I don't think it's necessarily about who can program who has power over who. I think it's more to say how the hosts generally function. Don't quote me on this, but I think there was something about the hosts, when they're first programmed, you can't shut them off until they are killed. Something along those lines. But I don't think it's about having power over any other host. To me, it just doesn't make sense. You're saying Maeve has more power than the guy that's been programming these things as a job for years. You know,
Maeve would have more power because they...
What kind of power? AI pressing a button on an iPad? It's probably the same. You're saying she's typing in some other programming.
Because they definitely use Android tablets.
Okay, yeah, an Android tablet.
So they upgraded everything that she was about. Like all of her attributes, they were upgraded to beyond human comprehension, obviously.
Cheat code.
Because they were at like 1s and 2s, and she put her all the 10s, and now she can convince anybody to do what she wants. She knows what people want. She knows how to give it to them, and she knows how to take it.
Innuendo. No big deal.
So I'm talking about. It's sick.
Well, let's talk about Maeve, though, because she's with creepy Hector and also creepy British writer dude. That guy that they kidnapped.
Was it?
Seems like he can physically repair hosts, right?
Yeah.
Why would he be worried? Because he's literally their only useful asset. They're trying to go find Maeve's daughter.
Why would he be worried about being killed by them?
Yeah. It seems like everybody else has been murdered at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that has to do with why he's murdered, or why he's worried, is because he just saw all these people get murdered. Yes, he may have a one-up because he is an asset to them. But how would you feel if you just saw hundreds of people just be murdered in front of you? Would you still be like, all right, I'm good?
If you don't do what she says,
I feel like Thanos.
You're next.
Half of people need to go. This is the one story that I don't really know where it's going yet. Or I don't know where any of these are going, but this is the one that I don't even have any theories on. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, and Brick, you brought up, what were you mentioning before? Like, who do you think is going to run the whole...
Who do you want to lead the uprising? We got Dolores.
She's not leading an uprising.
No, she's trying to find her daughter.
Her motive is to find her daughter.
So it's between the Man in Black and Dolores and Teddy then?
It's going to be
Maeve,
Dolores.
Whose side does Maeve go with? Because Maeve is actually... I think she's the catalyst of it all. Because she has all of the added attributes, and she doesn't want to do the uprising. Apparently, she just wants to find her daughter. But I think knowing all of this information and having all that extra knowledge, I think it only is inevitable that she leads it all.
I got one more thing I want to bring up. I assume, Mark, since you've been balls deep in this, that you've seen the recurring symbol of Greek origin that continues to show up in the show.
Yeah, are you referring to
It's basically a
Delos
plus
and
sign
Argos?
with 4 dots
Okay.
in the upper corners. It's used in certain types of ancient Greek cartography, and it's supposed to indicate the stone bottom at the water's edge, which pretty obviously relates to the drowned hosts, which we haven't seen very much of yet. But can you speculate wildly on this?
I think I'm kind of lost. You go ahead with this one.
That's all I got.
I
figured you had some weird, deep theory on this. All it is a symbol that continues to show up.
No, I don't have any speculation yet on this.
Can't wait for more info. Brick, do you have any more thoughts on Westworld?
The one thing I want to say, there's no one better than Ed Harris based on cowboy voices. He is the best cowboy voice of all time.
Clint Eastwood.
Like rivaling Clint Eastwood.
Here's my ultimate theory.
Good Lord.
Obviously, Dolores is going to fuck shit up in this season. She is going to have an uprising, yes, Brick. Will that uprising be successful? I think Teddy is the reason why it will not be successful.
It won't be successful, then they got to get the Shoguns involved.
And the Tigers.
But is Bernard really Teddy? But is Teddy really Maeve? All right, and you guys are going to hate me for this one, but I have one more.
I already do, yeah.
I have one more that I need to mention. And this may be, I know I listed off a few already, but this is probably my favorite. Peter Abernathy, Brick, and for people that are listening, he's not as a familiar character as most in Westworld. The best way to sum him up is he is Dolores' dad. We see him in the first episode of Westworld. So everyone is speculating that Peter Abernathy is really Jim Delos, who is Logan's father, who is William's father-in-law.
And boss.
And the reason for this is one of the most impactful scenes with Peter Abernathy is what scene, Ryan?
When he sees a picture from the outside world.
Who's in that picture?
William and his wife.
William and his wife. And who would his wife be?
Jim Delos' daughter.
Exactly. There you go. Let's go. That's a great one. Holy shit. I'm pretty confident in that one, to be honest.
See, that's the problem is when you're too confident in one of these theories, it always ends up being wrong.
I know, but another reason is second episode of second season. We know Jim Delos is terminally ill in that one scene when they're jumping timelines. We see his son Logan in the back, all depressed, shooting up heroin type substance. But we know he's terminally ill. Does that mean that he's agreed to be put into a host body? And you may be asking why they put him into Peter Abernathy. It is a pretty shitty storyline. His daughter Dolores is always raped, gets killed. His wife gets killed. You can speculate on that, but in the end,
That's because Florida hated him.
Exactly. Who's to say they might have agreed like, oh, you'll be in a great host. You'll be working with us. They might have been like, fuck this guy. He's going in this host right here. But like most of the hosts, Peter Abernathy had that flashback with the photo. He had something click in his brain like Dolores had, like Bernard had, all of those hosts. And that clicking was seeing his daughter, Juliet, and Peter Abernathy is Jim Delos.
That's deep.
There's a lot of good theories out there. I'm not going to lie. I was reading all of them. I'm like, I like them all. I felt like it was Christmas. I was like, oh, that. Oh, my God.
Gotta catch 'em all.
I'm trying to remember when, during last season, we had solid theories. And I'm guessing it wasn't until like 5 episodes in.
Here's where we went wrong. We decided to go scene by scene and recap every single fucking episode, which is not what you do with this show.
Those are not posted anymore. You can't find them anywhere. Thank goodness.
Everyone has...
That was a dark time in my life.
No more recaps.
Great. Let's get into our recommendations for the week. I want to kick this off by saying, go to a gay wedding.
Oh my God.
I saw those Snapchats of like those guys. What are they?
Hanging from the ceiling.
Yes.
Pouring champagne. This was the most opulent wedding I've ever been to. It was
opulent.
Obscene.
Nice word.
Yeah, it's a very cromulent word. It was awesome. It was so much fun. The food was great. The drinks were flowing. Everybody there was pristinely dressed.
Is it what you expected a gay wedding to be like? Yes, probably.
Yeah, I think it was.
How fabulous was it?
It was utterly fabulous. And also I had a blast.
That's awesome.
It was just really cool.
You sent me a picture of a guy you know how
from the ceiling.
Yeah, was he like in one of those sheets where he kind of wrapped
like
himself up?
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, exactly.
Type stuff, where he's got a bottle of champagne just doling it out.
I have this image in my brain. He had like his one leg tucked under the other, his back completely arched, and he was upside down and just pouring the champagne into this other guy's glass. I'm like, oh my God, that's a gay wedding right there.
Yep.
That looked fun though.
All right, Mark, you got a recommendation for me?
No.
Great. Rick, you got a recommendation for me?
Batman Ninja. Check it the fuck out.
Hold on, I did have a recommendation. Fuck.
So, AKA, no one has recommendations. I will tell you what not to watch. Skip Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, which was another DC animated movie that came out. This was not good.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this movie, so... Oh, I have a recommendation. Sorry. Free Comic Book Day, we mentioned it, is Saturday. Even if you're not that big into comics, all these comic book stores have super nerdy things all over the place. So, and a lot of the times, I know my shop is doing 20% off everything in the store. So you can get some pretty good deals, not just on comics, action figure, collectible type things, whatever you're into pop culture. If you go to a comic book store, they'll have something you like. So maybe go check that out this weekend if you like that type of shit.
Okay, I actually do have 2 recommendations now. First of all, if you haven't seen Infinity War, go fucking see it. Yeah, that's immediately. You need to do it. Second of all,
wow, great recommendation. By the way.
Yeah, whatever. There's a game called Over the Line. It is a combination of 3 different games: Pictionary, Charades, and Cards Against Humanity. You can either draw it out or you can act it out, and they're all very inappropriate phrases, and it is hilarious. I haven't laughed. I was crying laughing on 3 different occasions, and they're fucking hilarious. Check that game out. $25 on Amazon. Worth it. Great party game.
We'll play this next time you're back in the studio. So what, in like 5 months or something?
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely. Minimum 5 months.
Nice.
All right. We're also taking applications for a brick replacement. All you have to do is have massive ADD and not want to show up to stuff.
And have a sick gamer Instagram account, Games Dean. So
now everyone knows
that you're kind of cut out.
Your cover is blown, by the way. Brick is Games Dean, everyone.
Yeah, whatever.
Right,
no one listens this far on the podcast anyway.
Next week, Mark and I will be gone. We have something planned that we will release. Can't say much about it yet, but please send us your submissions for who you think is a robot. You can text us at 847-920-6107. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Chumpcast. Until next time.
Till next time, poop, poop, poop-diddy scoop, scoopity poop, poop, chumps out, motherfuckers!
Poop! What's left to say? Scoop-de-whoop. These prayers ain't working anymore. Whoop-de-scoop-de-poop. Everywhere shut down in flames. Whoop-de-dee-scoop-poop. Whoop-de-dee-scoop. Scoop-de-dee-whoop. Whoop-de-scoop-de-poop. Poop-de-scoop-de. Scoop-de-whoop. Whoop-de-dee-scoop-whoop-poop. Poop-de-dee-whoop-scoop. Poop. Poop. Scoop-de-dee-whoop. Whoop-de-dee-scoop. Whoop-de-dee-scoop-poop.